Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This very first post of my YouTube channel, I wanted to post it at the first day of the new year, and Happy New Year to everyone. In this channel I will mostly talk about the geopolitical stuffs, the politics, sometimes foreign affairs, mostly foreign affairs, but sometimes domestic affairs of some certain countries like Turkey, for example. And I hope this YouTube channel will be a platform for people who work for democracy, for freedom of speech, which we need a lot nowadays. And thank you so much in advance, and I hope you will support me with your likes, comments, and subscriptions. Thank you. So today I want to talk about Syria. Last week there was a clash between Kurdish forces and Syrian army, Syrian National Army, or Turkish-backed groups, however you call them, in Sheikh Masud and Eshafiya neighborhoods of Aleppo. These neighborhoods are Kurdish majority. It's like more than 70% of the neighborhoods are consisting of the Kurdish population, but also it hosts a lot of non-Muslim Syrians like Christians, Armenians, Chaldeans, and others. So what happened last week in Eshafiya? The Syrian army figures the groups blaming Kurds that the Kurdish forces attacked them, and it's violation of March 10 Accord, the agreement signed between Syrian government, so-called Syrian government, Jolani government, and Syrian Democratic Forces. And they blame Kurds. However, while they were blaming, they were fighting something like whatever they find, they just fired to the Kurdish side, like cannons, heavy weapons, tanks, whatever they found, they just fired the other side. So it is hard to believe that that's a coincidence, or it is just a provocation from Kurdish side. First of all, there is no reason, there is no logic to believe that Kurds are violating the March 10 Accord, because many of you will remember that a couple of months ago Kurds withdrew their military forces, SDF, the Democratic Syrian Forces, from Aleppo, Eshafiya, Sheikh Masud, exactly these two neighborhoods. They withdrew their forces, their troops, to show a goodwill to Turkey that we really want to have a peace with you. We don't want to fight, so we are withdrawing our troops. So let's have a peace. So when you remember that fact, it is hard to believe that Kurds are the side that provocated the other side. That's claim of the Syrian side, of course. So at the same time, again, if you believe it's coincidence, that will be very surprising for me. At the same time, while the attacks were taking place in Aleppo, Turkish Foreign Minister and Turkish intelligence chef were visiting Jolani government, and they had a meeting with the Jolani. That was a clear message. The message was that Kurds, make a peace with the Jolani government, otherwise we are separating him, and we will not hesitate to attack you. We will, like we did before, we will capture your land and we will install our administration. That was a clear message. But everyone who follows the Syria nowadays will know that there is a but let's say unveiled agreement between Turkey and Jolani government. It's like Jolani is controlling Damascus and surrounding. Turks are following the northern part of the Syria. So Aleppo is a place, the region that Turks are controlling. So it is very interesting to see that Turkish Foreign Ministry is visiting Jolani, and at the same time they attack in Aleppo rather than the Kurdish majority area, like for example Deir ez-Zor or Kamishlo or other place. But they choose Aleppo. That is a clear message that from Turks that we are controlling this, and we are the boss of this area, and we can decide who will fight to who. That is a clear message to Kurds and the Jolani at the same time. The message to Jolani was like, we are controlling the north, we are visiting you, and we are orchestrating these attacks to the Kurds. So you will have no choice but accept our conditions. This is how I analyze. Last week I posted an analysis on my personal blog, and please feel free to follow my blog as well. And there I state that you cannot understand Turkish foreign policy without knowing the Turkish domestic domestic dynamics. So let's have a look what's happening in Turkey right now. What are the domestic dynamics affecting the foreign affairs, foreign policy of Turkey? First of the reasons, first of the dynamics is the economy. Turkish economy is not doing well at all. Everyone knows that it's not a secret anymore. Turkish economy is like rolling in the dip. Inflation rate is untouchable, unbeatable. Any policy doesn't work, and people's unhappiness is more visible than before. Even opposition parties constantly asking for the snap elections. Of course, the ruling party and President Erdogan is not answering even these questions, but people are very angry about the economy and what's happening in the economy right now. So this is not the type of economy, type of economic policy that you want if you want to be a leader in the Middle East. First, you have to fix your domestic issues, like economy, for example, the most basic one. With this economy, it's unrealistic to lead or design the Middle East, such a strong country. And the second one is, I call it battle of candidates. What's the battle of candidates? Well, it has been like more than 1 year. People start to talk about who will be next after the current president of Turkey. There are some candidates that can be other videos topic, but one of the candidates is Foreign Ministry of Turkey, the current one. He's very hawkish. He's especially about Kurds, not only Kurds in Syria but also Kurds in Turkey. He doesn't seem to be big fan of the Kurdish peace process, which is ongoing right now in Turkey. He doesn't seem to be in favor of the peace process. He doesn't seem to be having a peace with the Kurds in Syria. So he looks very hawkish. Even some Kurdish politicians from Erdogan's party, the ruling party of the foreign minister as well, critique the foreign minister, which is very. This is not very often you see someone from the same party, especially the Erdogan's party, to critique a minister. That's very rare. That's very unique, I can say, and it's very interesting to see. And on the other hand, some of you will remember what happened in 2015. There was another peace process, the first peace process between Turkey and PKK, which failed at 10 years ago, exactly, or 11 years ago. Unlike the first peace process, the second one, the current one, is supported by the opposition parties as well. Supported by the biggest partner of Erdogan's party, MHP, an ultra-nationalist, ultra-Turkish nationalist party. Constantly were used to ask to hang Kurdish leaders, killing all Kurdish military forces in Iraq, asking military intervention in Iraq. Very hawkish, very ultra-nationalist Turkish party is now supporting the peace process with the PKK. That's very interesting. So, from this analysis, you can also say that MHP is not very happy about foreign ministry as well. Apparently the foreign minister wants to be the next leader of Turkey. He wants to convince someone that he is a strong leader by attacking Kurds and enemies, basically all the enemies. But so far it doesn't seem to be work well. And the main factor is, I can say, the MHP, the nationalist party, the second, not second largest in the rate of the votes, but the second strongest party, because it's the partner of the Erdogan's party. And since talking about MHP, there's another clash in Turkish domestic affairs. Traditionally, Interior Affairs Minister of Turkey are always close to the MHP. And it is fair to say that MHP is the main force, the decision maker to choose who will be the next Minister of the Interior Affairs, except the current one. The current one apparently is, the Foreign Minister, is not the favorite guy of MHP party. There are some, it's very visible, even from Turkish media you can understand, MHP is openly supporting the another candidate, which is the assistant of the current minister, to be next Ministry of Interior Affairs. The previous one was very close to the MHP as well. And again, traditionally, the police special forces are always close to the MHP. All the members, yeah, you can say all the member, actually, it's not exaggeration. All the member of the police special forces are from the MHP's schools, training centers, like party police, party, like they are trained in the political party, then they are chosen to police special forces. Police special forces is important in Turkey because even though they are police, I mean the title is police, they are very well trained in NATO standards. They have heavy arms. They are leading the clash against so-called terrorism in Iraq and Syria. They fought PKK, they fought ISIS in Syria. They still locate some part of Syria. So even though the title is police, they're kind of military actually. They are trained. They are very well trained in NATO standard, and they are heavily armed. But currently in Turkey, there are some major anti-criminal operations going on in Turkey, but none of them is involving the police special forces, which is weird. Instead of police special forces, they are including the gendarmerie, or they are including the other units of the police or other units of interior affairs. Yeah, both police special forces and other units are under roof of the ministry, but special forces have special place for MHP. So apparently they are being excluded from some operations, and that's a clear message from the minister to the MHP. And the relation between this clash with the Syria is the chef of the police special forces have paid a visit to Syria's Afrin, the Kurdish majority Afrin city last week. I don't remember anything like that happened before. Perhaps that's the first time a police chef is visiting a Syrian city during the peacetime. That was a clear message too. It was a clear message that we are here. You are excluding to us, but we are here. You cannot dismiss us. You cannot disregard us. We are strong. We are leading clash. We fought PKK. We fought ISIS. We fought in Syria. We fought in Turkey. We fought everywhere. So we are the fighters, and we are here. That was a clear message. So all these things, all the domestic dynamics, will make you understand what's happening in Syria right now. It's like what's happening in Syria, I mean, an angle of the Turkish Foreign Ministry is kind of mirror of domestic affairs. Of course, there are some foreign, international dynamics impacting Turkish-Syrian policy, but domestic affairs, domestic dynamics, the clash between the parties, the clash between the candidates for being the next president, are impacting what's happening in Syria for the next. To sum up all the things, if you want to understand Turkish foreign policy, you have to understand Turkish domestic policy and domestic dynamics. And if you want to understand what's going on in Syria, you have to understand what are the critics to foreign ministry, because foreign minister of Turkey is sometimes acting like president of Syria, even is like threatening Kurds. If you don't do that, we will attack. If you don't, Syria will do that. If you don't do that, hey Kurds. If you don't do that, Syria will do that. Hey Kurds. If you do that, Syrian will be very angry. It's like acting a president of Syria, and sometimes he's acting like prime minister of Turkey. And officially, there's no prime minister in Turkey's system actually. So that is basically all of them. And also we have to remember that talking about the domestic affairs of Turkey, anything happen in the foreign affairs, like international area, the Turkey will attack or will show the muscle against Kurds. Like if Israel threat Turkey, the Turkey will bomb somewhere in Iraq, some Kurds in Iraq and Syria. If Russians do something, they will do the same, which happened actually. Russians have bombed 4 Turkish ships in Black Sea and three Russian drones have been downed in Turkish soil, like very far from the Russian border. But what Turkey did is bombing Kurds in Syria and threatening Kurds in Syria. So when you are weak in the outside, you have to show your muscle in the home. So this is what Turkey is doing. If someone making pressure from outside, he's showing the muscle by attacking Kurds. This is what the Prime Minister is doing apparently. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe. And thank you.